Welcome, everyone. I'm Angie, and I'm excited to have you here today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join me. I know as psychotherapists, your schedule is probably pretty filled with client sessions, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to join me for a very important educational opportunity. So, a little about myself. I am a psychotherapist, published author, and certified nutrition coach. I've worked with between sessions resources for more than 6 years and written more than 20 mental health workbooks and virtually hundreds, if not 1,000 worksheets for between sessions, primarily for teens and adults. I teach virtual workshops for self-published authors, and I have experience coaching professionals and executives. My goal today is to make this session engaging, informative, and practical. Feel free to drop questions in the chat. I won't be unmuting anyone today, so if you do have questions, just put them in the chat. I'll keep an eye on that and answer any questions that pop up. Please feel free to share your thoughts along the way. This is a space for learning, curiosity, and open discussion, and so I'm very willing to be challenged by your questions and answer them to the best of my ability. Let's dive right in and make the most of our time together. Today, we will be exploring how AI technologies can be integrated into psychotherapy to improve client outcomes and streamline the creation of treatment plans. If you work with clients and you have to deal with insurance companies or any other third-party payer, certainly treatment plans are a part of your practice. AI is transforming industries across the globe, as you well know, and psychotherapy is no exception. From chatbots that engage clients between sessions to predictive analytics that forecast treatment outcomes, AI has the potential to revolutionize mental health care. Today, I'll introduce you to some practical applications of AI in psychotherapy and help you understand how to leverage these tools in a personalized way for your clients. So, what exactly is AI? Let's just start with the basics. Artificial intelligence teaches computers to think and solve problems like humans do, or sometimes even better. It helps machines learn from data, recognize patterns, and make decisions. Think of it like giving a computer a brain that allows it to understand language, make predictions, or even chat with people. AI powers things like virtual assistants, recommendation systems like Netflix or Spotify, and chatbots you may have chatted with on various websites. I know I find myself a little bit frustrated when I'm chatting with a chatbot and I'm not getting the answers that I would like to receive. And sometimes you feel like, wow, I'd really like to speak to a human. But we're very aware that a lot of websites now are just using chatbots to answer frequently asked questions. And in psychotherapy, AI can analyze client data, provide insights, and offer personalized recommendations for your clients. So, how does AI fit into psychotherapy exactly? We'll be exploring AI applications like chatbots, machine learning models for predicting treatment outcomes, and administrative tools to help you focus more on client care. AI can be a powerful ally in enhancing the therapeutic process. And does anybody have any questions so far? Is everyone clear about exactly what AI is? So one of the most exciting applications of AI in psychotherapy is in client engagement. AI chatbots can support clients outside of sessions, between sessions, by providing immediate responses, reminders, and therapeutic prompts based on your input. For example, Wobot is an AI-driven tool that interacts with clients using principles from CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. It helps clients manage their mental health by providing real-time support and interventions. And you might think, well, I'm not really interested in having a chatbot replace we think about chatbots replacing therapists. That I don't think personally that will ever happen. But between sessions, if a client just requires support, suggestions as far as interventions go, a chatbot could potentially be useful. Another powerful tool is sentiment analysis. AI can actually analyze client communication patterns and assess their emotional states through text, helping you as a therapist track progress or detect early signs of distress. Imagine a system that monitors a client's journal entries and provides feedback to the therapist about shifts in tone, emotions. This can be incredibly valuable in understanding a client's mental status and making timely interventions. So, what is predictive analytics? Predictive models use AI algorithms to analyze large amounts of data from past cases to predict likely outcomes for current clients. This allows you to tailor treatment plans far more effectively. So, by leveraging historical data, we can make more informed decisions about the best course of action for each individual client, increasing the likelihood of successful outcomes. So, how does this work in practice? By examining data from similar clients, AI can forecast which treatment strategies may be most effective for any given client. For example, it may predict that clients with certain symptoms respond better to mindfulness practices or ACT or DBT, and it can then supply a list of tools or suggestions in terms of resources that you may provide, educational resources, tools, worksheets, that type of thing. This allows us to create a highly personalized treatment plan that's tailored to the unique needs of a client. Imagine you have a client that presents with symptoms of post-traumatic stress. By comparing their data with a broader data set, AI may suggest EMDR or other evidence-based treatments based on predictive outcomes. This data-driven approach can significantly enhance the effectiveness of our treatment plans, ensuring that we're using the most appropriate interventions for each client. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Do you currently use predictive analytics? Do you use data? Or do you go by gut feelings or your intuition? And how might predictive analytics shift your approach? Please just pop some responses in the chat, and I'll just take a look and see what your responses are. I'm seeing no, not yet, no, 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 okay. So I would love for you to just reflect on how predictive analytics might shift your approach to treatment, might shift your approach in designing and developing treatment plans. And feel free as we go along to continue to share your thoughts and experiences. And if you have any questions, this is really an opportunity for all of us to learn from each other and explore new ways to enhance our practice. So feel free to just drop any comments into the chat. So another real benefit of AI is streamlining administrative tasks. And I know for myself, this is one of the most dreaded things. I remember having piles of notes to catch up on when I was writing progress notes, often in evenings, weekends. It felt like I was always buried under paperwork. So AI can revolutionize your administrative tasks, transforming how you manage your practices. Imagine a world where scheduling appointments no longer involves back and forth emails, and you probably do use a scheduling platform. At this time, there are so many out there that are inexpensive, but AI-driven platforms can automatically match available times with clients' preferences, send reminders, even handle rescheduling requests, all without your involvement. Billing can also become seamless. Instead of manually tracking invoices, AI tools automatically generate and send invoices, process payments, and provide real-time updates on outstanding balances. Some systems can even predict which clients might struggle to pay on time, based on their past behavior, allowing you to offer proactive solutions like payment plans or sliding scale. Another really powerful feature is automated progress tracking. AI can collect and analyze session notes, self-reports, assessments, worksheets, logs, any type of form or worksheet that you give your clients. Then identify trends and generate progress summaries. Imagine receiving a notification that a client's mood has steadily improved over the last 6 months without having to manually sift through your progress notes. Some systems can even flag early warning signs like increased cancellations or negative shifts in reported well-being, prompting us to intervene before issues really escalate. By automating these time-consuming tasks, we free up more time and energy to do what we do best, which is focus on client care. It's not just about efficiency and efficacy, it's about reclaiming that human connection at the heart of our practices. The less time we spend on paperwork, the more we can invest in meaningful therapeutic conversations that truly make a difference. But granted, paperwork is a requirement, and we have to ensure that documentation is completed on time and correctly. Platforms like Simple Practice or Theranest integrate AI to automate client reminders, generate reports, and ensure compliance with record keeping. And I just want to mention that any platform, any website that I mentioned during this training or in the workbook, which you received the workbook in an attachment in an email, I'm not an affiliate. I am not paid by, I'm not recommending any specific website. In the workbook, there's actually a list of 30 different websites that are currently offering AI in some capacity. So I'm not recommending anything specific. And I'm just, the examples I've giving, I don't use Simple Practice personally. These are just examples because I know that certain platforms like Simple Practice and Theranest do integrate AI to automate a lot of different functions. So these types of tools can save you a significant amount of time and reduce the risk of human error, making practices more efficient and effective. AI also helps personalize treatment plans by pulling data from multiple sources like assessments, session notes, client feedback logs, all of this tailoring interventions in real time. This data-driven personalization ensures that treatment plans are always aligned with the client's current needs and progress, enhancing the overall effectiveness of interventions. There are a number of different platforms now that are offering AI-generated treatment plans, including between sessions resources. And I personally have used between sessions resources as a treatment plan generator, and the treatment plans are phenomenal. You can literally create a treatment plan in less than 2 minutes. It's really amazing. Actually, probably less than a minute, to be honest. And the key here is when you're generating a treatment plan, it's really all about the prompts. When I generate a treatment plan, I'm very, very specific. I give the age, gender, specific problems, issues, family situations, anything you can add to the prompts will create a more robust treatment plan with more details. You also have to specify how many goals, objectives, and interventions you would like included in that treatment plan. You can make it as specific as saying, I would like DBT tools only, or I would like ACT goals included. So the more specificity you're using and the better your prompts, the better the output. I mean, and again, I can't emphasize enough, when you're using AI, whether it's a chatbot, whether it's a treatment plan or progress notes generator, the prompts make all the difference. So adaptive treatment planning is one of the most exciting applications, as far as I'm concerned, of AI in mental health care. Traditionally, we rely on regular check-ins to adjust our treatment plans, but with AI, we can literally analyze real-time data from clients, including self-reported emotions, session feedback, even wearable health trackers, enabling us to fine-tune interventions in the moment. For example, imagine that your client is dealing with depression, and between sessions, they're using a mental health app to log their mood every day. One week, the AI notices that their mood has dropped steadily, that they're not sleeping, their appetite has reduced. Even though things were improving prior to this week or the last 2 weeks. So in response, the system suggests adjusting the next session's focus, perhaps prioritizing emotional regulation techniques or incorporating more mindfulness exercises. AI might also recommend a sooner follow-up session or flag that the client may benefit from different therapeutic interventions, such as journaling prompts or additional social support activities. This real-time responsiveness takes care to a whole new level. Instead of waiting until the next session to discover what's changed, we can respond proactively, adjusting treatment to meet the client exactly where they are, moment by moment. AI can even learn from the client's patterns over time, anticipating challenges and suggesting preventative actions such as coping strategies or lifestyle modifications during particularly stressful periods like holidays or work deadlines, after a major event such as retirement, changing jobs, death in the family, any number of things. So tracking major life events, major transitions, and really finding a pattern in how your clients are adjusting and responding is incredibly beneficial. Adaptive treatment also helps with tailoring care to each client's unique needs. One client might respond better to structured interventions, while another thrives with unstructured, open-ended conversations. AI can identify which approach yields better results by analyzing trends over time, allowing us to personalize therapy dynamically. It's really like having an extra layer of insight, a helpful assistant working quietly in the background to optimize care. Ultimately, this makes our work not just more efficient, but really more attuned to the client's evolving experience, enhancing outcomes and empowering clients to feel truly seen and supported throughout their journey of care. For example, a client's mood might be tracked between sessions, suggesting adjustments are needed based on the fluctuations. This allows therapists to provide more responsive and dynamic care, even dependent on a certain diagnosis. For example, a client that has bipolar disorder, you would really want to pay close attention to those mood fluctuations. And really, if red flags are raised, for example, if a client may be beginning a manic episode or falling into a depressive episode, that would be something we would want to monitor very closely. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen handy, could you write down some other examples you can think of so that you can share that in the chat, or just kind of take some notes for yourself if you have the workbook available, if you've printed that off, just kind of jot down some ideas about how you might use adaptive treatment planning in your practice. So a really important issue, which many therapists have voiced their concerns to me since AI sort of entered the scene a couple of years ago, is the ethical implications and challenges in integrating AI into psychotherapy. With this integration, ethical considerations are vital. It's crucial to consider this. So one of the most pressing concerns, of course, is ensuring confidentiality and privacy of client data. And I'm sure this has crossed everyone's mind because within these systems, AI is really only as good as the data it analyzes. But when data involves deeply personal information, such as trauma histories, mental health diagnoses, or progress reports, we must tread carefully to protect our clients' trust. There's nothing more important. So let's just consider a real life example. Imagine that you're using an AI platform to track your client's progress and make treatment recommendations. The system is collecting data from session notes, mood trackers, and even text message interactions through therapeutic chatbots. While this provides valuable insights, it also raises many, many questions. Where is the data stored? Who has access to the data? How secure is it? There's a well-known case that involved a very popular mental health app that collected user data under the guise of self-care. But this app ended up sharing that data with third-party advertisers without the user's full awareness. This incident highlights the importance of transparency and consent when implementing any AI tool in treatment. Clients must know what data is being collected, how it's being used, and whether it will ever be shared. Another scenario to consider is how AI platforms handle unexpected breaches. This does occur. Even with the most robust security measures, no system is immune to hacking attempts. Understand that. No system is completely immune to a hacking attempt. Imagine the potential fallout if a client's private therapy notes or sensitive mental health records were leaked online. This wouldn't not only damage the therapeutic relationship, but it also causes significant emotional harm to the client. And of course, we can mitigate these risks, so we must ensure that any AI tools we use are HIPAA compliant in the United States or meet similar international standards such as GDPR in Europe. We also need to work with vendors closely, those vendors that prioritize end-to-end encryption and secure data storage, ensuring that only authorized professionals can access client information. For example, I know between sessions resources, all of the software developed is HIPAA compliant. So that before you pay for any monthly subscriptions or sign up for some annual plan, obviously, and I'm sure you're all aware of this, making sure that the software is HIPAA compliant, number one, and asking questions, really digging deep to make sure that that platform has everything in place to mitigate risk. Ethical practice means giving clients full control over their information. For example, some platforms offer a feature that allows clients to delete or restrict access to certain types of information. Others provide informed consent processes at every step, explaining exactly what data will be collected and how it will be used. I'm sure part of your intake process is including consent forms. And again, Between Sessions Resources has a load of consent forms to use if you're doing telehealth. And again, I'm not promoting Between Sessions Resources, but I'm just aware of it because I've helped develop a lot of these worksheets and forms. And I know that we've ensured that we have every type of consent form possible in order to address this very issue for therapists. And if there is a consent form we're missing, of course, we will create that and share it with our members. And understand there's also the challenge of bias in AI algorithms. If the data that trains AI is not diverse, it could lead to biased recommendations. For example, an AI tool trained predominantly on data from middle-aged adults may not offer effective suggestions for teen clients struggling with school-related anxiety. This makes it essential for therapists to review AI-generated recommendations very closely and critically, ensuring they align with your client's specific needs and background. Ultimately, vigilance is key. AI systems are only as good as the data they're trained on. I can't emphasize that enough. We cannot rely on what AI produces. It's about the prompts, it's how the AI was trained. So even though integrating AI into psychotherapy holds incredible potential, it must be done with careful thought and ethical foresight to ensure compliance with privacy regulations and really keeping our clients' needs at the forefront of our mind. We must be incredibly transparent, regularly audit the AI systems we use to harness the power of AI while also maintaining the highest ethical standards. Most importantly, protecting the trust is at the core of the therapeutic relationship. So does anybody have any questions about ethical implications of AI in therapy? Please type any of your concerns in the chat. Feel free to voice your thoughts and questions. You can also reach out to me after this training. In the workbook, I have all of my contact information. I am happy to schedule a 30-minute consultation to brainstorm, to clarify any of the information I'm sharing in this workshop. I'm more than happy to meet with you and discuss your questions and any concerns you might have about this particular topic. So we'll just move on. I don't see any questions in the chat. We'll move on from the ethical considerations and challenges. This is just a very important, a major topic. I'm actually doing, I believe it's in December, I am doing a workshop just on ethics and challenges. So that will be a really deep dive into the ethical considerations and challenges. We're just really doing kind of a gloss over here, very, very, brief overview, but I did want to touch on this in this training because it is so incredibly important. Okay. So I'd like to just review some of the practical integration tips if you are interested in integrating AI in therapy. It's really easy to feel overwhelmed by AI's potential. So my suggestion is just to begin with smaller, low-risk applications like administrative tasks. For example, you might introduce a scheduling assistant powered by AI that automates booking, reminders, and rescheduling. Platforms like Calendly with AI-powered workflows even predict which time slots might work best based on past booking patterns. I personally use Calendly. I don't use it for my client booking though, because Calendly, at least a few months ago, Calendly was not HIPAA compliant. I use Calendly to book meetings and that kind of thing, but I do not use Calendly for client scheduling. But Calendly is one example of AI-powered workflows in scheduling. So starting small, for example, with scheduling, allows you and your clients to sort of get used to interacting with the technology without jumping into more complex areas like predictive analytics. You may also explore using chatbots to handle client inquiries between sessions. A chatbot might answer FAQs on your website, provide session reminders, or guide clients to emergency resources when needed. Many therapists have found these chatbots especially helpful in boosting client engagement and reducing no-shows. If you just start with these everyday basic tools, it will allow you to see how AI can improve the efficiency of your practice, while you and your clients gradually become comfortable and accustomed to using the technology. Next, I'd just like to talk a little bit about building trust through transparency. When you introduce AI tools, client education is a non-negotiable element. Clients must understand what AI is, how it works, and why and how you're using it, especially in a therapeutic context. So for example, if you decide to use a mood tracking app that leverages AI to monitor emotional states between sessions, you will want to explain to your clients how these apps work, if there's a cost involved, and the kind of feedback that your clients as well as you will receive. You might say something like, this app uses AI to notice patterns in your mood over time. If it picks up on early warning signs, like a steady decrease in mood, it will send us both an alert so we can adjust our plan proactively. Always being transparent, offering a full explanation, and ensuring your client is consenting to using this type of solution in therapy is essential. Your client may decide to decline using the app, and that's okay too. Other clients might be excited to jump on board and be very willing to try some alternative treatment tools, and they may be really willing to use tools while other clients may be more uncomfortable. But the bottom line is that transparency builds trust, and encourages buy-in from your clients who are more likely to use tools if they understand the benefits. You might even consider a client onboarding session where you introduce AI tools, address any concerns, and answer questions. When you're choosing the right tools, reliability and compliance are essential. There are countless AI platforms available. And in the workbook, I have a list of 30, and I probably could have found more, but I have a full list of 30 different platforms that utilize AI for psychotherapists. Selecting the right ones can feel overwhelming, and some of them are very expensive. I know I've talked to therapists who have signed up for, several different platforms, and they're paying several $100s a month just for all of the bells and whistles of the platforms. It gets very expensive. So you need to sit down and really think about, what are your needs? Will you be using all the bells and whistles of a certain platform? And if not, maybe you could downgrade or just, again, try a free trial. Several of these platforms do offer free trials so that you can discover whether or not you're even comfortable using the platform. Look for tools that are user-friendly and intuitive, reliable, and again, most importantly, compliant with industry standards like HIPAA and GDPR. For example, Theranost, which I mentioned earlier, is a very popular platform that uses AI to streamline progress notes and billing while ensuring privacy compliance. Another tool called Quenza offers AI-powered goal tracking and client engagement features. Both of these tools, again, are just examples of 2 tools available. They're known for their intuitive interfaces and their ease of use. Seamless integration into daily practice is essential. And I personally am not attracted to a platform where there's a steep learning curve and I have to spend a lot of time contacting customer support because I don't understand what's going on. And I just don't want to take the time to learn about a platform. I want ease of use, intuitive, seamless integration, and it has to be easy for clients to use as well. It's essential to test the tools yourself before you roll them out to your clients. For example, some therapists have run internal trials with staff. So if you have staff, you could use the AI tools as if they were your clients. This can help uncover any glitches or usability problems in advance, ensuring a smoother experience when you introduce the technology to real clients. And I always suggest doing trial runs, setting up some fake clients in any platform that you use just to test it out from start to finish to make sure it's a seamless process. Again, with between sessions resources, that's what we suggest to our members, is always set up 1 or 2 accounts that, where you go from A to Z and test out the software, make sure everything is running smoothly before you introduce this to clients. You don't want your clients to get frustrated or stressed out over the platforms that you're integrating into your practice. And always stay open to feedback and adjustments. Keep in mind that AI integration is an ongoing process. What works for one practice may not work for another. Set up regular check-ins with your clients to gather feedback on their experience with the tools. Some practices send out brief surveys after clients use chatbots or tracking apps to assess their usability and satisfaction. So always check in with your clients to see what's working or what isn't working so well for them. In one example, a therapist introduced an AI-powered journaling app to her clients, only to find out that the prompts were very rigid for some users. Based on that feedback, she adjusted the way the app was used, framing it as an optional tool rather than a required part of therapy. So that small shift made her clients feel more in control, leading to higher engagement with the app over time. The clients that were comfortable with that journaling app used it and enjoyed it, while the clients that really weren't comfortable left it out. They didn't feel like they needed to use it. It wasn't helpful for them. It doesn't have to be overwhelming or disruptive to integrate AI into your practice. Starting small, educating your clients, and selecting the right tools for you and your practice ensures that you and your clients get the most out of these technologies. And remember, just stay flexible. As you become more comfortable with AI, you can explore more advanced applications like predictive analytics to enhance your treatment plans and outcomes. The beauty of this is that it helps free up more of your time for what truly matters, and that's building meaningful connections with your clients. When you automate those repetitive tasks that are just mundane and sometimes frustrating, and you're remaining transparent about it, while carefully selecting tools that align with your values and your practice, you will improve your efficiency and deepen the therapeutic relationship you have with your clients. So next, I just wanted to expand a little bit on the importance of client education. This is just such a vital element, similar to the ethical components of using AI in psychotherapy. I really believe that education is critically important because when clients understand the role that AI can play in their care, they feel more confident in using the tools. So educating them provides clarity about how AI supports, not replaces, human interaction in therapy. And again, I firmly believe that AI will never replace therapists. That human connection that we have with our clients is irreplaceable. And no matter what level machine learning gets to, no matter how smart ChatGPT is, ultimately, it's all driven by humans. Without human input, without human creation of the proper prompts, it doesn't work. So ultimately, human to human connection will always be primary. It will never replace human interaction in psychotherapy. So using simple, non-technical language to explain AI features. For example, you may say this app will help us track your progress between sessions. Together, we'll adjust your treatment if needed. Just keeping it very, very simple. You don't have to get into the technical aspects, how it works. Keeping it very simple, again, while obtaining consent is the key. You could create a Q&A handout addressing common questions such as, will AI replace my therapist? Or who sees the data collected by AI? And I would strongly suggest doing that, creating a handout, putting it up on your website, whatever you need to do to just share the information with your clients. Those frequently asked questions, put it all together, explain it's transparency. It really will make all the difference. So the benefits for your clients include personalized care because AI-driven platforms have the ability to tailor treatment plans fully based on the progress, ensuring they receive the most effective care. Integrating those tools based on your preferences and your client's preferences. You can receive real-time feedback. So with tools like mood trackers, clients can monitor their own emotional patterns and receive immediate guidance between sessions. For an app, say, for example, with a client who has an eating disorder, you could use an app that includes a food diary and includes daily activity like exercise, and it will track the patterns over time, how that client is, if they're eating a healthy diet, or if they are restricting, if they're binging. I mean, there's all kinds of different data that can be collected in a food diary app, for example. Increased engagement occurs when clients see concrete evidence of their progress through these AI-generated reports. They'll feel more motivated to stick with the process. Here's an example. A client with social anxiety may receive encouragement through real-time tracking, where the AI platform suggests gentle exposure activities based on their weekly practice. So it's really a step-by-step process based on the client's progress, where new and different activities can be introduced that are really relevant for specific clients. And clients will feel more empowered the more they understand the tools. AI enables clients to track their own progress, and this increases their self-awareness, it increases accountability, and it does shift some responsibility into the client's hands, making them active participants in their own care. With AI tools providing insights, clients can participate in co-creating their treatment plans. For instance, if the system identifies a trend where meditation practices may improve their mood, clients can then choose to prioritize those activities. So, as an example, a teenage client could use the journaling app to track emotional triggers. Over time, that client will gain a deeper insights into their patterns and can bring those observations to sessions, collaborating on the next step. So there's just really the sky's the limit in terms of your creativity and how you can use these different apps and tools. And finally, building trust is even though it's the final element on this slide, it really is as far as I'm concerned, one of the most important aspects we need to consider. Clients may initially feel uneasy about AI, so you can acknowledge their concerns by explaining how AI really will enhance care. It will not, again, emphasizing that it will not replace human interaction. You may say, the AI tool we're using doesn't make decisions. Think of it as a smart assistant that helps us focus on what matters most. Again, keeping the verbiage very simple and emphasizing that the AI is not making decisions for treatment. It is not replacing the human interaction that they experience with you as the therapist. Just reassure your clients their data is secure and only used to improve their care. Provide details about encryption, privacy policies, and regulatory compliance like HIPAA. And again, in your initial intake session, I'm assuming that you include all of this information anyway. So when you have your clients fill out their intake and consent forms, I would include an additional sheet that really gives a detailed yet simple explanation of how you're using the tools and getting their consent. You could say your information is encrypted, meaning no one outside our sessions can access it. Again, keep the language simple but be detailed enough that they have a full understanding. And when clients see their own progress and they can track their improvements over time due to AI supported adjustments like better session scheduling, personalized interventions, new suggestions based on symptom, they feel more confident in both the tools and the therapeutic process. So I want to emphasize again that AI isn't here to replace therapists. It's here to enhance our work, provide more personalized care, and just make our jobs as therapists a little bit easier. Here are the top 10 ways to enhance client outcomes and personalized psychotherapy treatment plans using AI. Number one is AI-driven client assessments. AI-powered assessments such as symptom tracking apps and online screening tools gather data in real time to monitor moods, behaviors, and mental health trends. Apps like Wobot and MindStrong can detect subtle changes in mental health over time. Number two is predictive analytics for treatment planning. AI can analyze client data, such as past therapy sessions, medical records, to predict which therapeutic approaches are most likely to succeed based on similar cases. As an example, AI could suggest CBT interventions for clients that show patterns of anxious thinking, or DBT for clients who exhibit emotional dysregulation. Number three, chatbots for 24/7 support. AI chatbots provide immediate emotional support between sessions, helping clients regulate emotions or practice their coping skills. Chatbots can be trained to make suggestions in terms of coping skills, tools, resources, various things that a client can utilize between sessions. I think making the client feel a little more reassured or secure that they have that support between sessions, as long as it isn't an emergency. I mean, I just want to make that clear. A chatbot is not appropriate if a client is experiencing an emergency or is in crisis. So, for example, chatbots like Tess and Woebot provide cognitive behavioral techniques in conversations. So again, they're learning about the client's preferences, they're getting to know the client, and they become smarter and smarter as they basically share information, share techniques that particular client would find useful. Number 4 is natural language processing, NLP, for session analysis. NLP tools analyze therapy sessions to detect patterns in speech, such as cognitive distortions, emotional triggers, or repetitive behaviors. So AI can highlight topics for the therapist to explore further in upcoming sessions, which is pretty amazing. And I've seen this at work, actually, and it is incredibly amazing. So I've uploaded a recording of a therapy session, and AI can actually analyze the tone of voice of my client and then offer suggestions based on that. So, for example, a client that might be upset, and I'm speaking of a teenage girl that I uploaded the session, and I was hoping to get an analysis of the tone the way she was speaking about her parents specifically, how she was talking about being bullied at school. AI actually picked up those nuanced pieces out of her speech patterns and was able to really make very, very appropriate recommendations based on that session recording. And again, if you're recording sessions, whether video or audio recording, ensure that the platform you're using is HIPAA compliant. Ensure that where that audio file or MP4 file, a video file, where it's being stored, just be very mindful of where this information is being stored. I don't recommend recording sessions on your phone, for example, because that, depending on the phone you're using, the app you're using, it's just important to be very mindful when you're recording sessions, just as a side note. Number 5 is automated progress tracking and feedback. AI tools track progress by collecting feedback after sessions through surveys or mood tracking apps, offering personalized insights on client growth. So again, Between Sessions Resources has a feedback form that can be emailed to a client after every session. That client can fill out that form, and it's just check boxes, and you can add some text. But that after every session, having that data to analyze, say over 6 months, 8 months, you can then really track that client's progress using that data from feedback post-session. You can do pre-session surveys. Again, you can use any type of tracking app for moods, for triggers. Again, the sky's the limit in terms of the data that you can collect. So you'll receive personalized insights on your client's progress. So for example, feedback-informed treatment systems, FIT systems, can automatically suggest treatment plan adjustments, which again, this is incredible, and it saves therapists so much time. Number 6 is number 5 is personalized homework and skill building. Sorry about that. I think I skipped one. So personalized homework and skill building. AI tools can recommend individualized worksheets, guided meditations, or exercises based on your client's progress or their needs, helping them stay engaged between sessions. So as I said, Between Sessions Resources, that's because I'm very familiar with what we offer. We have any number of worksheets that AI could recommend. We have a number of meditation audios that could be recommended, different forms, exercises, and there's a lot of research to support the importance of using between sessions homework just for practical purposes, like the client's practicing different skills, as well as sort of consistency. Having a session every week is great, but you want your client to, say, if they are doing exposure, depending on the client's problems and issues that they're experiencing, you would want them to practice skills outside of sessions. So, for example, platforms like Quenza allow therapists to assign customized tasks that align perfectly with the treatment goals. And then 7, virtual reality exposure therapy. AI-powered VR systems can be used for controlled exposure therapy to treat phobias, post-traumatic stress disorder, or social anxiety by simulating environments that trigger stress responses. As an example, a VR session can replicate public speaking scenarios or flying on an airplane, feared environments in a very safe setting where the client may be experiencing the physiological responses because of the VR session, yet they are safe and secure. Number 8 is sentiment analysis for emotional tracking. AI analyzes written and verbal data to detect emotional trends such as shifts toward positive thinking, which can inform treatment adjustments. For example, sentiment tools analyze mood logs, text messages, as I said, audio recordings, video recordings for patterns of emotional dysregulation. Number 9 is AI-powered journaling and mood monitoring apps. And there are many apps, again, out there. You will have to sort of sift through them to find which are most appropriate. But these apps help clients log their emotions and experiences on a daily basis. AI then analyzes these logs to detect any changes in mental health or see patterns or recurring themes, providing insights. And again, this data can be incredibly helpful because you're seeing your client just maybe 1 hour a week. But when you have these apps tracking between sessions, you really get a day-to-day progress report of how your client is doing, how they are using their tools, how they are making progress over time. So as an example, apps like Dailyo or Wiza alert therapists to critical shifts in client moods. They actually send the therapist notifications. And number 10, finally, is administrative automation to free up your time. AI streamlines administrative tasks such as scheduling, documentation, and billing, allowing you to focus more on client care. So AI-powered electronic health records, EHR systems, automate session summaries and treatment documentation. There are many options for EHRs out there. And I'm sure many of you are already using EHR platforms. So by using any of the AI tools and techniques that I just mentioned, you can offer more responsive, efficient, and personalized care, improving client engagement and outcomes while reducing the burden of your administrative tasks. And really, that's the goal, to not feel so burdened by the administrative aspect of your practice and to really take advantage of technology to just make your life a lot easier. I just want to thank you so much for attending today's webinar, for watching this webinar. Again, I understand how busy your schedule is, and I just want to thank you so much and let you know that I am available for consultations, for phone calls. I offer a free 30-minute just sort of check-in if you have questions. I am happy to meet with you, just schedule with me. In the workbook that I sent to all the paid participants, there is a link in that workbook to schedule time with me. I am happy to meet with anyone that has any questions and just sort of brainstorm how you can best utilize AI tools and techniques. I hope you've gained a few new insights into how AI can be used to improve your clients' outcomes and streamline your practice. If you have any questions or you'd like to discuss this topic in more detail, please reach out. I have 2 more trainings that are scheduled. November 21st, it's the ethical considerations in AI-assisted mental health diagnostics, which should be very, very interesting. I think earlier I said that the ethics was in December, but it's going to be November 21st. December 19th, I have AI-powered content creation and publishing for mental health professionals. Content creation and self-publishing is one of my areas of expertise. And as I mentioned, I've personally published more than 20 mental health assignment workbooks. I've published a number of blogs, articles in the mental health arena, and I love teaching people how to publish their own content, publish a book. I suggest that anyone with any interest really consider self-publishing because it is so easy. It's just a matter of having the discipline. And if you don't like to write, you could always hire a ghostwriter or someone to write the book for you. But a book is really a business card at this point. It really lends credibility to you and your practice. Between Sessions off actually has a workbook creator where you can create your own workbooks with your own tools, your own introduction, literally in less than an hour. And you can have your own published book. And we are happy to, allow you to remove the copyright and use that information as your own. So that is really a benefit, again, of Between Sessions resources. And I don't know of any other platform that allows you to use worksheets and tools to create your own workbook, whether that's for an individual client or for your practice. You can make a general workbook on generalized anxiety disorder or any number of topics under the sun. And that is, again, the December 19th training should be really, really interesting because content creation and publishing is really one of my major passions. And I'm excited to share all of that with information with you and how AI can support you in creating content and publishing your book. I'm also open to scheduling additional trainings, including AI for marketing and client acquisition, or AI-driven list building and client engagement. I'm open to suggestions and feedback. And I love talking about list building and client engagement, and as well as how to attract more clients. I mean, marketing is a huge stumbling block for a lot of therapists. And I think having those skills and abilities and using AI to support you is incredibly important. It's and very time saving. So please reach out. Let me know how I can support you. In your workbook, I've outlined a number of resources and ways you can receive additional support. So just take a look at that workbook. I hope it's helpful. It's around, I think, 18 or 19 pages, really just kind of going into greater detail in the about the information that I presented in this presentation. I will send you the recording of this presentation along with the link to the workbook. And if you have any other ideas, again, please feel free to reach out. And I appreciate you so much taking the time out of your day to listen to this presentation. And have a wonderful day. And again, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.